Hello, Louis Vuitton team. My name is Mitchell Sullivan, and today I'd like to go over some strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that your company may face moving forward. So, on our first slide, it shows the evolution of the Louis Vuitton bag and just how well it's done over the years and how it's had continued success throughout the years, which goes right into our first point of strengths. So, our first point on strengths is that quality sets you apart. Now, you use the best leather, and so obviously your bags are very high quality, your bags don't break, and people who are purchasing your bags know that they're getting a high quality item. The second strength is your brand recognition across the globe. Your monogram is iconic and recognizable across the entire world, and basically everybody knows what Louis Vuitton is, which leads into our third strength, which is your limited edition demand and exclusivity. Since you release very few items per item drop, it's very tough to get your hands on these items, and they're very expensive. So when people see somebody else with a Louis Vuitton bag or a Louis Vuitton item, they know that that person has pretty high status. The fourth strength that I see is your access to top designers, specifically Virgil Abloh. Virgil Abloh, he designs for you, he designs for Off-White, and he is Kanye West's creative director, and so he is the real deal when it comes to this type of stuff. And your fifth strength is your patents and trademarks on your items. It's just a good way to have security, so it's a very smart move by you. This leads in to our weaknesses. Now, the first weakness that I saw is a lack of market research, which your design has been the same for a long time. And so maybe some innovation to see like what the market wants now would be good. Another weakness that I see is a potential over-reliance on the Japanese market. 85% of women actually own Louis Vuitton bags, which is great, but there could be some untapped potential in other markets. The third weakness is weak online sales. Now, most people prefer to go in-store to buy your items, which is okay, but with how big online shopping is now, maybe developing a bigger presence online could be good for you guys. And then the fourth weakness is low employee satisfaction, poor culture, and low pay. Now, there were many reviews on certain websites that showed Louis Vuitton workers, they didn't really like the culture. It was a tough culture to work in, and that their pay wasn't reflective of the work they were putting in, so they were pretty upset about that. And the fifth weakness is poor customer service. There were just some reviews on different websites saying that the customer service was bad in store or online, so working on that would be good for you guys. Now we get into opportunities, and this is exciting for me because there's a lot of potential money that you guys could be making with these opportunities. So the first point of opportunities is loungewear, so like sweats, hoodies, and like Louis Vuitton, like slippers or slides. Now, this could be so good for you guys because people can wear loungewear all the time. They don't need to be going to a big party in order to wear loungewear. And people would enjoy wearing loungewear just sitting around. That's what it's for. So if you guys can make your own loungewear line, it could be big. Now, the second point of opportunities is partnering with social influencers and athletes, and I'll go into that a little bit later when I go over some recommendations for you guys. And then your next opportunity is more strategic collaboration, like you did with Supreme. And once again, I'll go into that a little bit later, but strategic collaboration was very good for you guys with the Louis Vuitton X Supreme. And then our next opportunity is you could revamp the mobile application. Now, it hasn't seen an update in a while, and many people were dissatisfied with how it was running. So revamping that could be very good for you guys. And along with that, another opportunity is relaunching vintage products. Now, these products are very sought after, and so if you made more, produced more, and relaunched them, they would sell out very quickly, and you guys can make a lot more money on them. All right, so for the next slide, it shows your Louis Vuitton and the Supreme collab, which was amazing. It had a $23 billion revenue, which is incredible. Now, you could do this again with Supreme, or you could work with other streetwear brands such as Off-White or A Bathing Ape, just other brands that could bring in a lot more money because a lot more people would want to buy it. The next recommendation is a collaboration with influencer Emma Chamberlain. Now, Emma Chamberlain is very well known online for her fashion and for just other things, and a lot of people follow her, and so a strategic collaboration with her whether that be in a sponsorship or a partnership, could be very good for you guys. And then along with that, finding a bigger presence in Paris Fashion Week and different types of launch parties could be very good for you guys, because those are highly viewed events, and a lot of people would be able to see your items and see what you guys are doing. And so now we're getting into the threats part of the presentation. And so the first threat that I see is government regulation on the use of leather and the purchasing of leather. With the way animal rights activism is going right now, there's a potential that leather could be very tough to get since it does come from animals. So that's one threat. Another threat is competition with other luxury designer brands. Now, competition is a threat for any market, but for you guys, in order to stay ahead of the curve and ahead of the competition, you need to keep innovating and keep putting yourself ahead of them. The third threat that I see is product resale by original customers. Since your item drops are so exclusive, people will buy them and then people will resell them for more than they bought them for. And so you could either drop more items with each drop to make more money, or make them more expensive because people will buy them anyway. The fourth threat is counterfeits. Now, counterfeits is a big one because there's a $30.8 billion loss just in the fashion market alone on counterfeits. And I know I see a lot of counterfeit Louis Vuitton bags, and they're actually pretty tough to spot. So adding some type of way of seeing whether it's real or not for your bags could be very good for you guys, because then people would stop buying the counterfeits and sort of tearing down your name. And the last threat that I see is if there's an economic downturn, luxury items are the first items to go, so a lot less people would be buying your products. Therefore, a contingency plan would be good to have in place for economic downturn. And I mean, we're seeing it with the coronavirus right now. The economy's taking a big hit, and I can imagine luxury items are not being purchased. Thank you so much for having me, and I hope you take all these recommendations into consideration, and have a great day.